Hey y'all, welcome to the Latrell Show. Here we discuss all things blood type health and 5D living. I'm your host, Latrell, and today we're going to be discussing lectins and food. So we all have extremely unique and complex bodies. These biological machines that we inhabit only accept certain items as food for our nourishment, our sustenance, and for proper functioning. Along with other factors, lectins are what largely determine what items our bodies accept as food. Now, when you read the word or hear the word lectin, you may immediately think of the lectin-free diet, which is coined by Dr. Gundry. Well, I do agree that the lectin-free diet has some validity. However, it is missing a key point. So first, let's talk about what lectins are. I did mention lectins in my previous episode. So if you go back and listen to that, that'll give you an overview of what lectins are and what's going on in the body. With lectins, you have lectins as well as the food you're eating, but we're going to talk about food lectins in this episode. We're also going to talk about how valid the lectin-free diet is and how you can avoid eating foods that go against your lectins. So certain dietary lectins that we eat are absorbed into the bloodstream and can bind to red blood cells when they go against your lectins, and that causes surrounding blood cells to be damaged and destroyed by the immune system. For example, wheat is one of the foods that have lectins that wreak havoc on a person with blood type O, which is me. I'm one of those people. Then there's lima beans that cause destruction of blood type A blood cells, and then chicken causes destruction of blood type B blood cells. Why is that? That is because our lectins are our internal bodyguards. They sit on our cells and literally wait for food lectins to pass through that match their receptors. So they're looking for something to go wrong, always on guard. That's why I call them bodyguards. And the definition of something going wrong means that you're eating food that goes against your blood type. Your blood type is either A, B, AB, or O. And if you're eating food that go against that, that means your lectins now view it as a foreign invader and it's time to destroy it. This destruction process is called agglutination, as I mentioned and elaborated on in my previous episode. So cool quote that is from the blood type diet book that Dr. Peter J. D'Adamo wrote called Eat Right for Your Type. He said, the immune system works to define self and to destroy non-self. And that's what lectins are helping your immune system to do. If it does not belong here, it gotta go and get destroyed. The only thing is that other cells are being destroyed along with it, which causes inflammation, which causes other diseases. And that's why it's better to eat food that go along with your blood type, so your body doesn't have to work overtime to destroy constantly, because that's called constant agglutination. That is a distraction from allowing your immune system to be free to defend your body from bacterial infections, fungal infections, and viruses and things like that. Even injuries. Your body needs to be at an optimal operating level in order to protect your body. And it shouldn't be protecting your body against food. But the thing about it is that you may not know, you likely don't know, which foods go against your blood type. And so I have provided a list for you down in the description of this video and podcast, or wherever you're listening to this episode, so that you can grab that and look at it to see which food you should eat and which food you shouldn't eat. So now we're going to talk about lectins in your food. Okay, so there are many lectins that affect humans, but it depends on the type of blood that person has that determines whether they're going to be affected by that food lectin. The main foods high in lectins tend to be legumes, seafood, grains, and vegetables. And these are foods that are usually present in a typical diet. Some of these lectins can be destroyed during normal cooking methods, but many of them remain intact even after long periods of high temperatures. For example, while our normal cooking temperatures range between about 150 to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, wheat germ lectins resist heating at 230 degrees Fahrenheit, even after 30 minutes at that temperature. kidney bean lectins resist heating at 194 degrees Fahrenheit well past 3 hours. However, kidney bean lectins are destroyed when they are pre-soaked. Some other foods that have resistant lectins even after cooking are apples, carrots, canned corn, pumpkin seeds, bananas, and wheat flour. So if you didn't catch that, the lectins in these aforementioned foods are not destroyed when we cook them using our normal stove and microwave methods. So when you cook them and eat them, you still experience the effects of agglutination if they don't match your blood type. And it doesn't matter how high or low these foods are in lectins. If your biological lectins perceive those food lectins as a threat, then the agglutination of many cells in your body will still occur, meaning many cells in your body will be destroyed from eating these foods if they go against your blood type. In addition, agglutinating activity persists in several-fold dilutions of extracts in foods, including tomatoes, lettuce, cucumbers, wheat bran, whole wheat, sesame, sunflower seeds, vanilla yogurt, coconut, bananas, carrots, onions, apples, alfalfa, and soy protein. So these are just the extract of these foods still have the lectins that will cause a problem if you consume that extract. There has even been speculation that many of the third world countries experiencing low-grade anemia is due to a diet rich in food lectins of grains and beans, which, based on their blood type, destroy their red blood cells, causing inflammation in the gut, which mimic food allergies. So that's an unfortunate situation. If they knew what their blood type was and which foods they should not eat according to their blood type, they may not be experiencing this anemia. So now let's talk about how valid the lectin-free diet is. Now, the lectin-free diet basically takes a group of food that are high in lectins and omits them from your diet. And I just view that as not super effective, because in order for us to personalize and adopt this diet into our lives, we need to get specific. That's what I feel like the lectin-free diet does not do. It doesn't get specific about who eats these certain foods and who does not. It's like everybody eat these foods, everybody don't, or stop eating these other foods. That's not the way of the blood type diet. The blood type diet has four different major diets, and it tells us to eat specific foods based on what your lectins and other body functions require. So that means that there are certain lectin foods that will benefit one group of or one blood type and will not benefit or will actually be detrimental to another blood type. However, we can't just omit that food just because one blood type or a major blood type is not going to benefit from it, because that can cause that blood type to be malnourished if they're not able to eat it based on a diet. And that's because other functions in that person's or that blood group's body requires the nutrients from that food. And yes, those foods have nutrients, even if it includes meat. The nutrients from that food is important for the functions to work smoothly. And yes, there are some foods that negatively affect mostly all people, pork included, as well as wheat. Wheat can be tolerated by some blood types. However, too much of it, even a moderate amount of it, will cause problems for mostly everybody. So at this point, you're probably at the edge of your seat wondering what foods your lectins don't like based on what your blood type is. If you don't know what your blood type is, check the link in my description to get the guide on how to find out what your blood type is. I also have a previous episode where I share 6 ways to help you find out what your blood type is. So that's a good resource. But let's get specific. Each blood type has a different biological makeup and thus needs specific foods to survive. I'm going to share with you a list of various foods from various food groups for each blood type that they should avoid based on their lectin preferences. So this is all based on lectin preferences, not on other things and other functions in the body. Blood type A. These are the major food lectins that you should avoid if you would like to improve your cellular health. whole wheat, tomatoes, oranges, mussels, kidney beans, and eggplant. Blood type B, you should avoid chicken, black beans, peanuts, corn, avocado, and sesame oil. Blood type AB, you should avoid chicken, garbanzo or chickpeas, corn, and sunflower oil. In blood type O, you should avoid all wheat products, kidney beans, sunflower seeds, cucumber, and castor oil. Now this list is not exhaustive. Like, I didn't name all the things that you should avoid, but these are some in the major foods that are in our typical diet that you'll go to a restaurant and it's probably going to be on your plate or on the menu, likely, highly likely, that you should start trying to avoid. The rest of your body, outside of your lectins, does have the capabilities of rejecting foods that they identify as non-foods for your body, okay? Moreover, there are other foods that you should avoid based on your blood type aside from your lectin responses. Make sure you grab your list in the description of this episode so that you can figure out what you should start eating and what you should stop eating today, okay? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Ola Trail Show, and I hope to see you in my next episode. Have a good one.